SPY just kind of drifting right just above the VWAP, but not going anywhere right now. Same thing with the triple Qs. Good time to just be watching. Triple Q is still a little bit weak. IW are moving sideways. So again, we took profits this morning in LYB short. We got into IONQ long as well. SMR up about 8% today, up to 25.20, looking nice. FI up about just 0.25% today, just moving, kind of moving sideways. SMMT just not doing much of anything. It's up. It is up at 1.5% today, but this thing needs to move a little bit. I'm trying to decide. We got to decide whether to roll these back out into January or so. All right, see if we get any questions here. IONQ, one IONQ off at 590. All right, nice. ASTS 65%. Nice job, Joe. Okay. Got to kind of watch here. The market is not really doing much. A little gap up, then a pretty steep pull down. Now just moving sideways. You do have multiple contracts in the IONQ. You can take, if you want to take $1 off of one of them, it's $1 off of some. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. 480. One of the members just took some off at 590, so that's a nice little quick profit there on IONQ. Right now they're trading at, can we get in? Get in nice right here at about 480. Right now they're trading at 595. So about $1.15 a contract on those just in about 15 minutes. Again, anybody that was with me in MSTR called debit spread yesterday, I took the 355, 360 call debit spread for 385. We got out this morning for 585. And by the way, I closed Reddit call debit spread as well. I didn't even realize it. I'm out of the Reddit call debit spread for a nice profit there. That was from yesterday. We get in that one yesterday. I closed my credit spreads in Reddit and MSTR that I put on yesterday. I also had a debit spread yesterday in Amazon that we talked about, and I took that off yesterday. So right now what we've done is we've closed, we took IONQ for December 13th calls, the $25 calls for 680. For 480. I got a sell order at 680. Some folks have already got out at 590. And if you want to take some off at 590 or take all the profits at 590, nothing wrong with that. That's over $1 in a very short period of time. And LYB we closed for a nice profit this morning. All right, so that's what we're doing. The market's it's not doing anything. It's just moving sideways. Market flat as a pancake here. The SPY just moved sideways. Q's just moved sideways. Welcome to the YouTubers watching the video, watching the broadcast right now. Welcome. Again, with market gapped up this morning a little bit, pulled back pretty steeply, and now it's just kind of moving sideways. All right, just watch the market again. If you're in the IONQ and you want to take some profits, feel free to take some profits. We get in around 480. Right now they're trading at 595 to between 595 and 6. So you can take some off. I took some of my trade, some of my position off, and then I'm going to keep the rest on, looking for 680 on it. Don't know if we'll get there or not, but it's a, take $1.10 in 15 or 20 minutes. That's pretty good. So again, I took some of them off. Shy Adobe through the 100. Yep. Nice move in Adobe right through off the 200 this morning, right through the 100. Got some resistance at 539.35, about $5 higher. Nice move in Adobe though. That's a pretty nice bounce on Adobe. Andrew, what would I consider the Netflix next resistance points? You have a nice profit on your call, but still plenty of time. You're working a mindset of letting your winners run. Listen, if you're thinking of taking profits in it, you just want kind of watch the momentum. I tell you what, on Netflix, it's still a really nice setup on Netflix. I mean, here's the daily chart on Netflix right here, right? So this is a pretty nice setup. Again, you see this bull flag right here. There's a big volume, and then the volume drops off. The stock kind of drifts along the 8, and then it breaks above this algo line that I've drawn right here. It breaks above that, and it's just drifting up. But it's a little extended, not terribly extended. But if it starts to reverse back and you like the profits, I'd certainly take some of it off. If it starts to lose momentum here today, on the 5-minute chart, it's gapped up here, it's pulled back down and starting to move up. You kind of want to see it stay above there, or get above there. And just kind of watch the 8 and the VWAP right here, and if it drops down to there or below there, I'd certainly take some of it off. Again, this is not like a runaway market, so you got to take profits when you can. All right, gonna go back to looking for some stocks here. Again, we took this IONQ. I actually peeled some of these off at about $6. It's hard to alert on something like this. I think I'm gonna add something to. I'm gonna just put it. Oh, he is selling some of them at 6. Ali, trimming at 6 is what you're used to seeing. Yeah, usually on the alerts, I don't try to do that because it's too much. You know, if they're not watching it, they get the position there, then they get a sell order, they leave it in there. If they're not watching the text or they're doing other things, they don't get to see that. So I don't like to adjust too much on the alert service because of the fact that a lot of folks are not there all the time. But in this particular case, when you can get $1 or $1.10 off of a contract in in 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, then I'm going to take some of it off, and I did that. Nine is Lulu a good setup right now? Let's take a look. Yeah, it's pretty good. Here it is right here. Breaking above the 200. So what you want to see is this thing stay above the 200 day. It's getting a little extended from the 8, not an awful lot. You've got resistance here at 334.43. 334.43. So pretty close to that resistance level. Then you got a big nice chunk of space in here. So I'd personally be waiting for this thing to close above the 200, close above that, and then confirm that it's going to stay up there, and then look for a move up, because the 8's sloping up, so it's going to kind of follow it up. But it's a nice entry. I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking a long in Lulu right now. Q's coming up toward the pivot point. Again, this is very slow, compressed action here in the market right now. We had a pop-up gap up this morning, a pretty steep pullback, and then now a slow compression. Now the SPY's moving up a lot better than the Q's. The Q's are the weakest. IWM is just chopping around now.
Now the pressure initiating Chapter 11 reorganization to protect core assets. VINO.
SPY starting to pop up here now. SPY moving here, breaking right off of the 15 and the VWAP with a nice little green candle here. Everything's green on the current time frame momentum. That's the SPY super system entry right there. Okay, we're not getting a lot of the trend here, so you gotta watch it really carefully. And again, at this point in time, about 11:30, I would actually go to tomorrow's expiration on the SPY. Again, I closed out the MSTS call debit spread today. I closed out the Reddit call debit spread today. Nice profits on both of those. Closed out LYNQ. Took that profits on LYNQ this morning. Added IONQ at 475 to 480. Took some of it off at $6 and holding the rest. Again, I did take some SPY Super System calls here, expiring tomorrow. The 597s. Again, I took some of the IONQ off at $6. I'm holding the rest. I've also got some SPY calls on the SPY Super Systems methodology here. We'll see where they go. I got them expiring tomorrow, so I do have 1 day out, so I don't get any kind of massive time decay on a compression. SMR moving up nicely here. One of our positions. SPY just trying to break out, kind of just choppy here right now. Again, breaking out right above the 15. There's a 15 right there. That little green line, and there's the VWAP right there. I got tomorrow's calls on these. I'm giving them a little bit of time. I don't want to take too much time decay on a compression type setup. Yomi, is it too late to get into IONQ? Might be. I wait. 2690 is a breakout, then it got room to 3161. I mean, if you want to go out into December like I did, December 13th, December 20th, it's okay to take it here. But you might get a little bit of a pullback to the 8, which means you might take a little heat on it. I'd personally wait. That's why I got rid of some of mine because of that big move we got. Doug, that's 1128. Do I see? I did take a SPY super system trade right here. There's not a lot of momentum here, but the market. You see this big hammer bar here? After coming down, we gapped up, we came down, we put in a hammer. That's some buying. Obviously, was holding that level pretty nice. So I'm going to err to the upside here. I'm going to take some long calls on SPY with the tomorrow expiration, based on this bounce off the 15, and then see where it goes. I figured what triggered my SPY entry was this compression right here and this pop right here. This pop here right off of the 15 and the VWAP right there. The SPY work is working pretty well right now. Again, I took tomorrow's expiration on the SPY super system. I get in at 224. They're trading at 233 right now. It's not a really massive run here, but it's definitely bullish at the moment. IONQ trading at 585 right now. Again, a little over $1. If you've got profits in them, but you can take some of that off. I took some of it off. If IONQ pulls back today, back to the $5 level at 480, the $5, 525, something like that, I'm going to add more back on again. Right now, I'm just kind of watching. INSG with a huge pullback today. After earnings, I'm guessing, dropped from down 40%. Save Spirit Airlines also down really hard today, 55% down. And Bitcoin is selling off. The BTCZ, which is the twice leveraged 2x ETF, just down about 6.5%. And IONQ bouncing up a little bit now again. Bitcoin stock's down a little bit today, the cryptos. Coin down about 3.5%. SPY starting to pull back here. I just snatched some profits off of that SPY. I had a set to make 20 cents on it. I'm out of it on the SPY calls. I may enter again here on a pullback, but I did just take some quick profits. I'm not looking for big moves here. I'm just kind of taking off a little bit here and there because I lost 40 cents on the IWN short this morning, so I just pulled back 20 cents of it off the SPY, and I had more contracts on the SPY. And, you know, I might consider getting back into the SPY again here. Chip stocks are all pulling back here. Nvidia low of the day, down about 1.5%. AMD down almost 2%. MSTR, I was lucky to get out of that when I did. It's pulled back now. It's actually down $4 today. See what happens here. The market is pulling back again. I took a little bit of, took 20-cent profit in my SPY super system trade right here. Get in here, get out here. I had it set at 20 cents, and I think I must have ticked it right there. Hello. Somebody in T-Gelt in the YouTube system, YouTube feed. You want to start option trading? How should I play? First thing you want to do is I don't know what your experience level is, how much you know about trading options and how much you don't know, but you want to start so that you understand about trading options. You know, it's not something I can just tell you quickly here. That's why I have this room. The trading room is to go over options trading, and we go over strategies, setups, which options to take, you know, all of that. And I have videos on option trading and how to start to learn. But I don't know what your experience level is, so how should I play? You really want to be a job. You don't really want to be considered playing because it's very risky. So again, that's why I run this room. You look for high probability trade setups, and we trade options based on those high probability trade setups. I mean, you can trade stock, you can trade options, but setups that you get, you want to be in stocks that are high probability, which means you want to only be in stocks that the institutions are in. That's what this system right here, called the SPY Super System or the Compass System, this is what this does for us. This software lets us know whether institutions are buying or selling with using current time frame momentum, multi-time frame momentum, long-term trend, and long-term money flow, the derivation of money flow. These are the indicators that tell us whether the institutions are in the trade or not. This is on a 5-minute basis, and I would switch over to the daily if I was looking to do for longer-term intraday trades or swing trades. Can I go through my strategy a bit? Well, there's multiple strategies that I do, and you know, the strategy depends on on the market. It depends on the return on investment that I see. So the key thing is first I have to find a stock. If I find a stock that looks decent, we have a thing called the SPY super system in the room, which is trading the SPY, the Qs, and the IWM off a 5-minute chart. For anything else, like we just took IONQ, right? So if I look at IONQ, a couple of things I look at. All right, I look at the daily chart because this is going to be a longer term trade likely. Although we took some profits already. You see how this is green here? This is all green. This is telling me the institutions are buying IONQ. It's easy to see they're buying IONQ here. And then I'm looking for this. See this breakout right here of compression? It's breaking out. So I take calls on this. We took calls in it right here. We took the December 13th, $23 calls, in the money calls. Paid about $4.80 for them. We sold off some at 6, and we're holding the rest. So that's what I'm looking for. I got to find the in stocks first, and then I look at my indicators to see if the stock is being purchased or sold by institutions. And then I look to see what the technical is on it. See if I look at the technicals on TC2000. This is another charting program I use. So if I put IONQ here, you see it's pulling back on the 5-minute, but that's not what I'm focused on. I'm focused on the daily chart. This is the daily chart. This is a beautiful setup on IONQ. We get a little bit of resistance here that it bumped into, and then we got more resistance up here, 31.61. But when I got here, I took a little off. Again, I get in at 4.80, out at $6. That's a pretty nice profit for a short trade. But this is what we're looking at on IONQ. This technically, this tells me this is what's called a bull flag. Big volume, volume dropping off, stock moving sideways, but still a nice setup here for a long. All right, so that's one of the strategies I use. We use credit spreads, we use straight calls, straight puts. We have several different strategies we use. I can't really go into a detail verbally like that. You would have to be in the room, and you could have to watch my videos to learn that. Harry pointing out spot is continuing to do well. Yeah, big huge move up today off earnings. Pull back a little bit just below the VWAP, but now it's moving up again. Yeah, it's a little extended, I think, off the 8. I mean, here's Spotify. It's a pretty big extension from the 8 right here. I mean, it could keep going today, but I mean, do I want to buy something like this for a longer term trade? No, I'm going to wait for this thing to at least catch up with it, with the 8, pull back a little bit. I'm not going to chase it. It could keep going. I mean, I could be completely wrong and it could keep going, but the situation is when a stock gets that far away from the 8, it's generally going to have to either compress, wait for the 8 to come up, or pull back. We took some more SPY calls right here. till tomorrow. I want to see if we get a little bit of a move in this. Again, I took profits on the first one already. I'm back in it again. Using tomorrow's expiration, 11/14. 597 calls again. I paid 221 for them. I paid 220 for them, and they're going at 221 right now. Again, I took about half of my IONQs off at $6. I'm holding the rest. If it pulls back to around $4.85, I'll add some more. It's pulling down right now a little bit. About 10 minutes at about 10 minutes at 12 right now. But I still kind of grind up here. It's nothing dramatic, but the 15 and the VWAP are holding right now on the SPY. Qs have been a little bit weaker. They're bouncing now a little bit too. You see they're right through that white pivot point, bouncing off here, but they've been much choppier. And again, some of the tech stocks are down here today. Nvidia down about 1%. AMD down about 2%. Apple's flat. Meta down about 0.5%. And cryptos are down here this morning. Coin down about 3%. Oil was weak earlier today. Still pretty weak. Oxy down 1.5%. So we had a pretty good morning here. We closed out LYB short from a few days ago. Took a nice profit in LYB. I took a profit at MSTR, the call debit spread from yesterday. Took $2 a contract profit. Took a profit on Reddit RDDT. Had a call debit spread on that from yesterday. Took profits in that. Took a loss on the IWM short that I did today off the SPY Super System. And then I took a gain on the SPY Super System SPY longs just a little while ago, and now I'm back in SPY long again.
Coming from Punchbowl, says U.S. Senator Scott eliminated from leadership contest in first round of voting. That's a semaphore in Punchbowl.
I'm just going to watch for some stocks here again. We got that YONQ. Again, if it pulls back enough, I'm going to add to it since I already took a bunch off for $1.20 profit, which is pretty nice. I mean, $1.20 on 480 entry is pretty nice, especially in a short time. The Sabre we won't even worry about. That's a put credit spread going out to the end of December, and it's pulled back to 25.57. But we got 15. Selling 15s and buying the 1250s for a very big credit because the implied volatility is through the roof on that one, and that's because there's likely an FDA announcement coming up between now and December 20th. That's why I said it was speculative. Derek, how long am I planning on thinking about running the chat room? I haven't any thoughts about not running it. You know, you never know. Anything is possible. But I'm coming up on 3 years, and you know, I started in 2022. Certainly for hopefully for a few more years. I don't, you know, I can't give any guarantees on something like that. But my intention is to stay here. I mean, I really like doing this, and I've been, you know, I trade every day myself. And I've got the room. I like the room. I've got a lot of people who've been in here with me for a long time. So I think that it's probably worth it, so you don't have to renew every year. You save some money like that. So yeah, I think my plan is to stay here. You wouldn't want it to be anyone else. I appreciate that compliment. You know, sometimes some of the trades I put out there, you may wish it was somebody else, but all right. So it's by pulling back a little bit here now, and really not a real convincing move here, but we're creating a dynamic compression zone right here. But again, I'm watching the 15 and the VWAP on it. I've got these through tomorrow, expiration tomorrow. So I'm watching the T2104 as well today, which is still bullish. It's moving up. So, you know, this is something that I started as a SPY super system. I may take and hold these overnight, looking for a pop in the market tomorrow. I'm not sure. We'll see what they do. But I'm not treating it. I'm not treating it like I do a normal SPY super system trade at this point. IONQ starting to bounce again here now. Again, those options in IONQ are trading at 567 right now. Again, I got in for 480, and I get out at 6, and I'm holding the rest. And if we get a pullback, I'll add some more, but not at this level.
Point breached, I'm going to get an alert and I'll evaluate. Yes, this would look good. I can get long Tesla there. TWLO, that was from my video about 2 weeks ago in here. Look at that baby. That's been nice. And then finally Reddit was from a live event, I think 2 weeks ago, which is all the way back in here. And I told you this baby is going to run. This is a great longer term swing for months. I love that breakout. So I'd be looking to buy dips and add to it on a swing basis. Harry, what was your pick last week?
I believe it was Amazon. And take a look here. I was calling Amazon on that breakout last Wednesday.
U.S. Republican Senator Thune elected majority leader in secret ballot.
Again, just kind of watching the SPY here. It's kind of, again, I do have some calls in it. It's just kind of drifting sideways. A little bit of a move up in it. I think I'm up or down just a few pennies in it right now. I'm up 2 pennies. So just kind of watching it. Again, we closed out LYB for a nice gain today. Closed out MSTR call debit spread from yesterday that we had talked about in the room, as well as the Reddit call debit spread. Amazon looking pretty nice here right now. Amazon trying to break out. Google not as much. It's pulling back. Nvidia weak today. Nvidia pulling back. Tesla weak today. Down about, well, it's actually up $3, but it was up a lot higher. And again, we're in IONQ.
On PS, the T, the G. Kilo volume, Pure Storage announcing strategic investment in tech partnership with CoreWeave to accelerate large-scale AI cloud services innovation.
SMR up a nice 12% today. Trying to break out. I want to see it get above 26.55. 26.55. That would get us a nice breakout. Again, we're in this one. Welcome to everybody watching on YouTube. What you're seeing here is you're seeing my Compass SPY Super System software. It's also called the Compass System. This is telling us whether institutions are buying or selling. This is a 5-minute chart on the SPY. This is current time frame momentum. This is multi-time frame momentum. These are really, really important. This is the one we use on the 5-minute chart for doing what you call the SPY Super System methodology, which is we're buying off of blue and green, selling off of red and yellow, using the VWAP, the pink line, as our support level, our resistance level, and using the 15 EMA as another support and resistance level. See the SPY? I just took some SPY calls. It's broke above the 15, and I'm holding those SPY calls right now, expiring tomorrow. So this is the SPY Super System, or the Compass System, which this runs on thinkorswim. It's a piece of software you can actually buy, put it on your thinkorswim platform, and have the same exact information I do. It tells us whether institutions are in there. You do not have to trade off of thinkorswim just because you've got the your indicators on there. I don't trade off of thinkorswim. I trade off of another brokerage. So it's anybody on YouTube who's interested, look at what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at. Long-term trend here. Long-term money flow, a derivation of money flow. Current time frame momentum. Multi-time frame momentum. And again, we took IONQ today, long. So what we look at IONQ, what we were looking at is the daily chart, because we're going to try to swing it. So we look to see what the Compass is telling us, or what the SPY Super System is telling us. We've got current time frame momentum green, multi-time frame momentum green, long-term trend green, long-term derivation of money flow all green, breaking out of a compression here, beautiful entry on a really nice setup on the trade. Very high probability trade setup. Those are the only ones we take. SPY with a little pop there. The SPY calls that I got at 220 are up to 251 right now.
Jay has mentioned TikTok filed for a trademark titled TikTok Pay Later.
Still, SPY still going up to around 260 now. Again, that's about a 40-cent gain. Again, I wiped out the loss that I took in the IWM this morning with a 20-cent gain a little while ago on SPY, and now I'm up another 40 cents. How about a CDS on SMR for Friday, 27.29, Joe? I don't know. I mean, it's when I don't know if this. Here's the thing about SMR is about doing call debit spreads on SMR. The things that I don't like about it for call debit spreads, if you look at the candlesticks, you see the wicks, the wick. See the wick here. See the wick here. Wick here. Wick here. It tends to move up and then pull back. I wouldn't be surprised to see it pull back again today, which would make a 27.29 kind of problematical for Friday, consider it's Wednesday already. So I'd rather be in a longer term call position on it than to do a debit spread on one like this. You know, the one I did on MSTR yesterday was for the day because the thing moves so much. I mean, I did a 355, 365 when it was around 352 or 354 or something. But you see this candle on MSTR? That's because a low of 325 and a high of 360, right? That's 35 points on that candle right there. So that's why. And SMR doesn't have those kind of runs on ATR. It typically has a run of about $2.50. So if it pulls back a little bit, you'd be in trouble. That's my reasoning why I wouldn't do it. I don't think it's the best ROI to take SMR long. I hope that answers the question. SPY still moving up here, doing all right on the SPY super system trade on this one, although I'm playing on holding. It's up to, I got in 220, it's up to 268 now, so almost 50 cents on this thing, which is, if it gets up much higher, I'll take profits if it starts to move back. Right now it's up to 276. I'm up 56 cents on this thing. That's a pretty nice move, especially on choppy days. Again, these are expiring tomorrow, so I have a little bit of flexibility to stay in these things. The SMR comment, Stephen, one of the members was asking about the potential about doing a 27.29 on SMR, all right? The 27.29 call debit spread, looking for a move above where it is right now, up into the close to 29 by Friday. And my comment was, I don't like call debit spreads on SMI because of the wicks on the candlesticks. These wicks on candlesticks, you see this big move and then a sideways move with a lot of wicks, and I'm kind of seeing the same thing here with a wick here and a wick here and a wick here. It moves up and then it's selling, comes back in again. It's not as smooth as I'd like it to be for a debit spread. Debit spread, I'm looking for a stock that moves a lot, that I can get in really cheap, like I did on Amazon yesterday. Worked really nicely, and then MSTR, which have big ATRs. I mean, their average true range is $30 on MSTR. You know, that's almost 10% of the stock price. So if you look at SMR, SMR has an ATR of 250, which is about close to 10% of the stock price. So it also can move, but I don't like I said, I don't like the wicks on the candlesticks to do debit spreads, especially when you put it on today. You've only got 2 days. If it pulls back tomorrow, you're really in trouble on the thing. Whereas if you're out into December 20th on the calls, you've got plenty of time on those. When I peeled off the SPYs, I'm gonna try to look about getting in again. I took them off for 270. I get in at 220, so I took 50 cents on them. They might keep going, but again, I can re-enter these things on any kind of a pullback. Took profits. You're welcome, Stephen. This Dilson, that you don't have it in Canada. You don't have Thinkorswim, but you can use Ninja 8. The platform will run on Ninja 8. It's called the Money Flow Tracker on Ninja 8, but it tracks the same information. It just goes on Ninja. You can get either the Compass system or the SPY Super system from a right line, or you can get what's called the Money Flow Tracker and put that on Ninja, and it's going to look the same as it does on Thinkorswim. Then you can be in my room watching Thinkorswim and having Ninja up so that you can look at the indicators on there too when you're not in the room. And if you want to know any more about that, just ask Rory. He's at 786-732-4656, Dilson. 786-732-4656. All right, that's you can talk to him about the options that you've got. Doug, will I wait for the SPY Super System to pull back to the 15 EMA to get back in again? Yeah, I'm not going to chase it. I mean, it's still moving pretty good, but I already took my 50 cents. I'm not going to chase it until it pulls back to the 15. If it doesn't pull back to 15, I'm not going to get in again. Because if you do that, you're risking a pullback, and then you're putting yourself in a bad position. That's why patience is so important. What is my best guess the percentage of winners are when the entry is taken close to support of the 15 EMA? Same as it is of the VWAP. The percentage winners run between 85 and 90. That's my win rate. I think this last month I was 37 and 3. In this month right now, I think I'm about 15 and 1 now, about 17 and 1 now with the two winners today. So, the win rate's high. It's close to 90%. But that's all dependent on you getting in right off of the 15 or right off of the VWAP. One of these support levels, it becomes a stop for you. You don't want to be chasing up here because this doesn't look like much, but a drop from here back down to the 15 is really going to put you in a really negative position. You don't want to be in this trade when it's this far away. You want to wait for it to come back and then confirm that it's bouncing off of it. Entry is critical on these things because otherwise, I lost 40 cents today on IWM, and I got in pretty close to it. It just it went down and took a wicked bounce, and By the time I get out, it was 40 cents down. That's about as big as I lost that I'd taken any of these. And then I took a 50-cent winner and a 20-cent winner on the SPY. So I'm up 70 cents on the SPY, down 40 cents on the IWM. So I'm up, I'm up 30 cents for the day, $30 a contract. Do I think this system, I've done it for so long, do you think it'll work in all market conditions? Yeah, I know it'll work in all market conditions. I've used them all, but you've got to adjust your profit targets, and when you get in, not when you get in, but when you get out, you've got to adjust them to the market itself. If the market's gap moving up in a trend, you can stay in longer. If it's really choppy and you don't have any trend, like we didn't have any trend here this morning, you've got to be cautious. You're trying to catch the beginning of a trend. Now, if you're trending, then they're much more likely to be successful. And I haven't measured them. How do they work when I was taking them when the market was choppy? Or how was it when they're trending? I don't know. But the profits are higher when they're trending. But it's critical that you get in at those levels. And I'm not going to go back and look at every trade I took to see how the market was doing that day, whether it was chop or a trend, because it can go from a trend to a chop, from a chop to a trend. The market can change. That's why you always have to have your eye on the market and see what it's doing. You can see right now, again, I took my profits in the SPY, and as it turned out, it was a decent trade, but it could have kept on running. But now I'm just watching to see if I want to enter it again. On Steve, you missed the original buy. It's 535 on IONQ. Let me look. I'd like to see it above 26.90, but I think the setup is really nice. I don't think 535 is too much to pay for it, honestly. I'm looking for a pullback in it so that I can add some more, because I sold half of my position for a nice profit. Doug, you're welcome. Your confidence is growing slowly, but growing. Listen, you're trying to overcome emotions too. A lot of times you can talk yourself into taking a trade that you probably shouldn't take based on your emotions. And then when you look back at it and say, I shouldn't have got in there. In other words, the biggest mistake you make with the SPY super system is chasing when it's gone up, when it's moved away from the support or resistance level. And also trading on really choppy days with the SPY just moving up and down above and below the VWAP and just keep on chopping along. Dilson, what data source do you need to connect with Ninja Trader for stocks? You'll have to check with Ninja, but there's you have to pay for the data fee, but it's pretty cheap. Just tell them what you want to use. It depends on if you're trading futures or you're trading forex. If you're just trading stocks, you just need a basic level 1 stock feed. That's all. Yeah, call Rory. He'll tell you. I've traded on Ninja, but I don't trade on Ninja very much. When I traded on it, I was just trading on it to trade futures because the commissions are lower on Ninja for futures. But I just trade the SPY, the Qs, and the IWM over here. On the SPX, you can trade the SPX. Gonna cut out for lunch in just a little bit. I appreciate the folks watching in YouTube. I do this, try this every day about 11 o'clock. Usually run for, you say an hour, but I usually keep it up for about an hour and a half or so. So you can see what we're trading over here and how we trade the SPY Super System, how we trade this Compass SPY Super System software, and the SPY Super System methodology, which is trading off of the 5-minute chart on the SPY, the Qs and IWM, using the VWAP, pink line, 15 EMA, green line, and current time frame momentum indicator right here, telling us it's still bullish on the SPY. Is SMR still a good entry, Joe? Yeah. Yep, still a good entry for a long. Again, I'm really looking for it to get above 26.55, but this is still a nice setup. And you're up to December 20th on these things. So I still like them. IONQ, I was kind of hoping for a little bit of a pullback. It's not quite back to the VWAP. If I get back to the VWAP, and it bounces off the VWAP, I'll add back into my position that I already closed half of it off and took profits. SPY trying to bounce off the 15 EMA right here.
RBLX, following that talk of a database leak, we are seeing that volume just continuing to new lows. Roblox, RBLX.
I'm gonna get some lunch here. It's about 12:30, so I'm gonna. In case I'm gonna go ahead and IWM really dropping now, Ollie. Yeah, pulling back pretty hard. SPY holding up pretty nicely. Again, you get a big divergence between the IWM and the SPY. Q's also coming down a little bit, but not like the IWM. IWM pretty weak right there. Yeah, Russell 2000, money coming out of the Russell 2000 going into the S&P 500. All right, I'm going to grab some lunch. So, listen, I appreciate everybody who was on the YouTube feed today. I'm very happy to have you in the room, and hope to see you here again. I try to do this every day from about 11 o'clock on. So again, you can see how we trade. We trade off the 5-minute chart for a SPY, what's called the SPY Super System, which is trading the SPYs, the Qs, and the IWM off of our indexes here, which off of our indicators, which tell us whether the institutions are in the trade or not. We only take trades that the institutions are in. Jonathan, oh, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Thanks for being in the feed. We'll see everybody on the YouTube feed tomorrow. Have a great afternoon.